Hello everyone, this is HES Guys here, back with some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm WCS action. I guess it's also 1v1 action as well. Got to get the entire title in there. Anyways, currently up 1-0 is going to be EGJDRC, also known as EG Jaedong, and the Dong is strong in this one as he is currently up 1-0 in the top right side, and down the bottom left side on Neo Planet S. Still haven't quite figured out what that S stands for. It is going to be first. Now, I know in the last game, I haven't read the comments yet because I'm casting these back-to-back, possibly. But I haven't read the comments yet, but I already know. You guys are going to say it because you do every time. Husky, you're fanboying way too hard on Jaedong. You know what? Jaedong is the one player, except for maybe Bisu before he retired. But Jaedong is the one player that I have no shame. I have no shame in my fanboyism, and you just got to deal with it. You just got to deal with it, man, because I'm too legit to quit. I love me some Jaedong, but I do not want to take anything away from first. He is in the round of 4 of the WCS. Really means that he's top 4 in the world as far as competing in this tournament. That is no small feat. I actually don't know the size of his feet, but he doesn't have small ones, at least currently for this cast. And either way, in game number 2, we'll have to see if he can pull it together. Now, again, in the last series and in this game so far, just playing it absolutely not the best. And I'm kind of curious to see exactly how he manages to adapt or die. I mean, it's got to be evolution of the fittest, survival of the fittest. I don't know. I'm throwing biology terms in here, man. We'll see if he can actually manage to pull it off or not, as Jaedong is going to be super, super comfortable here. Not really too familiar with first. I don't know if he's been able to get this far into that many tournaments, because Jaedong, I actually want to talk about this a little bit more in the last game. It kind of is something I did want to emphasize, is that Jaedong recently, even though he has not been winning major tournaments, he has been getting second place a lot. He is like the new Stork, makes it all the way to the finals, doesn't quite know how to win, and ends up getting second place. But honestly, that means that he is one of the most, if not the most, consistent players in StarCraft 2 right now, getting a ton of second places. You may be saying, well, he's very inconsistent if he can't win one. That's not the case. I beg to differ. I feel like getting to the finals often enough really makes you one of the most consistent players out there. He's going to be getting lots of cash earnings from that. And if he wins this game and the next game, or one of the games following it, then he will be in the grand finals. Let's see exactly who he goes up against. But either way, super excited to watch those finals here. And it does like first is going to go ahead and scout around with the probe. We got the drone up here. Once again, going to go ahead and throw down that base. And unfortunately for first, cannot delay that expansion. Once again, he would love to, especially since the Lings are out of position. He's not going to know that. And instead decides to save the probe in lieu of being able to scout a little bit more. Maybe he's going to throw down a pylon here. It's kind of a weird place for that probe to actually be. We do have the one cannon on the way. The 2 Lings I do not think are going to make it. They're trying to get over there in time. I do believe the cannon is going to be done in time. Yep, the Lings right there know it. And actually the probe just being a little bit sneaky here. He is more wanting to make sure there's a base there, and then maybe perhaps scout the natural, as opposed to just sitting and waiting and then not seeing a rush come towards him or something like that. So he's actually doing it the safe way, but not the way that's actually going to get him ahead right now. I believe these Lings are going to be able to spot it, and it was on the attack command, so it spots that probe right away. Is going to go ahead and chase it down. Of course, Zergling speed is nowhere in sight, as Jaedong has not gotten any gas yet. So it's kind of hard to get Zergling speed if you don't have gas. That is all there is to it, as Jaedong is just going to go ahead and keep macroing up on the back of this. Are we going to be seeing a long-term game? Well, Jaedong, you know, he loves to go up 3 bases, but at the same time, he loves to be aggressive. So first, he's got to have to really decide, do I want to go for a 3rd base? Do I want to try and do a 2-base play? Do I want to try and do something sneaky with these buildings in the back of my base? What is it he's going to do? Protoss really in this matchup kind of has to set the pace of the game. Zerg players will rarely, not that it's impossible, but will rarely do an all-in kind of blind attack. Like maybe versus Terran they can do this, because they can go for lots of Banelings. They're going to try and do a Baneling bust. Doesn't really work versus Protoss. Force fields kind of null and void that. And so what that means is think about the Protoss army for a second. They're very expensive, but they're very powerful. And what that means for Zerg is that once you recognize what they're going, like say it's 4 Colossus, you have to make sure to get the exact unit that counters that. Because think about the Zerg army. They are cheap. No, well, that drone just walking through the snow there. They are cheap, but you get lots of them, and they're very weak. You know, even think of Hydralisk. They're very weak to Psystorm, Colossus, things like that. So you have to make sure to get the absolute right units there, which means, guess what? It's the Protoss dictating the pace of the game, and Zerg has to react accordingly. Looks like those rocks will get taken out. I believe the Overlord over here might actually die to this Stalker if it overextends himself just a little bit. However, I believe it is once again going to be spotting the Stargate here. The Stalker there trying to intercept it, but guess what? I believe that Stargate is going to be revealed here. The Overlord here just needs to put on his prescription glasses, is going to be able to kill off that Overlord as well. So actually going to be getting 2 Overlord kills here right away, which is nice, but not completely unexpected, because think about it, Jaedong is throwing away 1 Overlord all the way through the main, all the way through the natural, so he's going to lose these either way. He just wants to know, what are you sending my way? What do I need to prepare for? Currently does have the Rotorn on the way. There's going to be a robotics. I believe this is earlier than last game. Either way, this is a relatively early one considering the timing of that Stargate. And the Phoenix here going to try and find some stuff to begin attacking. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do too much with just the 2 Phoenix. Last time we saw him pick up the Queen, I feel like going for drones might actually be better if you only have 2 Phoenix. I believe it takes 3 Phoenix to be able to kill a Queen very quickly, and does find some juicy Overlords over here, but there is a Queen there who is going to surely, slowly but surely, prevent those Overlords from getting taken out, and 3 Phoenix on the field, and we already have a Robotics Bay on the way super early here. Might just be trying to force his opponent to overreact versus the Phoenix, but you know what? Jaedong not really falling for it, I feel like. Yeah, he's got 1 Spore Crawler at each base, but to me, that's just playing it safe. That's going to be preventing scouting from any observers anyway. It's going to help deal with Colossus if they wander a little bit too close, but it's not too much that you feel bad that he wasted that money. So Jaedong is going to be just fine here. No overreaction. Is not making a ton of Hydras. Is not making a ton of extra Queens that he's not going to be able to use for something else, and is going to be just fine. So what that means is that first, while he may have not been able to do too much damage, he may not have forced Jaedong to overreact, he still might be able to pull an upset here with the early Colossus. I mean, that is so early. Extended Thermal Lance as well. There's going to be the Changeling on the back of this just to continue scouting around, because really Jaedong sees, okay, I got a Changeling up here, no 3rd base there. I got a Zergling down here, no 3rd base there. What exactly is he doing? And really, if you think about 2-base Protoss, I'm forcing you guys to think a lot today. If you think about 2-base Protoss, really, what are your options? Well, 2-base Colossus, so common. It is so common that it's almost comedic, and 3 Phoenix here are going to be able to snipe this one as well, and that is going to be annoying. Losing these Overseers is something that you would prefer not to do, but it's kind of a price you pay when you allow those Phoenix to go completely unchecked. But either way, I think Jaedong's going to be expecting the 2-base Colossus, because it's not a big surprise. If you're a Zerg and you're going up against a Protoss player and you're like, all right, well, there's no 3rd base, and there hasn't been a 3rd base, and we're approaching the 10-11 minute mark, you really shouldn't be taken by surprise when you start seeing Colossus come out of that base, because it's kind of the best option for Protoss given the situation. And actually, if you take a look at the vision of Jaedong, he did see the robotics on the way. So again, it's not really going to be that big of a surprise. Now, what is going to be good for First right here is that he hasn't lost any units like he did in the other game trying to take a 3rd base. I think he's actually just going to be going for a 2-base timing here. That Ling right there, literally yelling for the swarm, is going to be scouting out what's going on, that one as well. So even though they're not able to do any damage, those Zerglings have Bluetooth. They're able to, or maybe Google Glass, as Jaedong can see exactly what's going on. And look at this, Jaedong is already gearing up for a massive concave. He's got some on the high ground and going around for the flank. Oh my god, Jaedong, this might actually be an absolute disaster for First. He has nothing back home to be able to spot this. He is trying to reinforce here, but it may be too little too late, as Jaedong's going to be moving down this ramp. Do the Zealots spot it here? Yes, they do. All of a sudden, First realizing, uh-oh, here comes the trap. He's got a force field on the right and run to the left, which is exactly what he's going to try and do right now. But Jaedong with the absolute perfect concaves. Does it ever end? Jaedong making this look easy. Mass Roach once again relying on the low tier units to do lots of damage, and guess what? It is working when you only have gateway units versus similarly upgraded Roaches. That tends not to work out. The Colossus are already dead. Sure, there's some gateway units left over, but they cannot out DPS the reinforcements. Here comes the Zerglings, perfectly timed as well. Warp Prism's like, hey guys, I'm here. Oh, and it's time to leave. GG out of First, trying to move out with a pretty standard 2-base timing. Jaedong saying, what? This is like a beta build, is absolutely able to crush that in a matter of minutes. Literally minutes. I mean, I guess every game is technically just minutes, but this one is only 12 minutes, and that is in Blizzard time, which is what, like 9 minutes? Something like that. Either way, a very short game here. Jaedong may just be waltzing his way with a 3-0 victory into the finals. We are going to be finding out in game number 3. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.